First of all, for the people who might see this in the future that don't know Jacob McEachern, this is Taco. And you want to say anything about how you got your nickname? When you first started, there was more than one Taco. I think Matthew Denny was also going by Taco, and that was like a little like, oh man.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going by Taco, I think until a year after I'd played with him. I got Taco from Rebecca Taylor, who's another alumni. Everyone pretty much knows her. It was one night, there was a decent group of us, and it was like 7th or 8th grade. And it was just because people were hungry, thought it wouldn't stick, kind of just stuck. There was some crossover between college, so now sophomore year of college, people are still calling me Taco.
Okay. So I'm guessing some people may not even know Jacob's your name.
There's a decent amount of people that have to figure it out, so I make them figure it out. It's funny.
Right. Well, so you played Pi 4 years. You played
Mhm.
2 years with Flying Pig, the
Yep.
YCC Open team in Ohio, and you're a sophomore at UC, majoring in exercise and ultimate frisbee, right? No, I mean health and PE, exercise and fitness, and
Hmm.
psychology. So
Yep.
double majoring, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's a lot.
I kind of made my own major because I want to be a sports psychologist. Um, and there's no specific pre-sports psychologist track. There's only graduate programs. So I took two majors, mashed them together, made my own.
Awesome. And you were kind of like the second wave of the Pi crew, I would say. Um, After like originally we had Jacob Taylor and Micah and Mason and Michael Dubé, and I think Rebecca had been coming out, and then she brought you out. So you were like the very first kind of second wave, I'm guessing,
Hmm.
because I remember you coming out, and I remember thinking, I'm not sure if Jacob's going to stick. He just, I mean, I hope I'm not being disrespectful, but I felt like when you got on the field with Jacob Taylor, it's like you were in the presence of Jesus or something. Because he just seemed to be like a guy that you looked up to. And I was like, man, I don't know if Taco's gonna come back. It's like, man, Jacob Taylor's out here and there are these guys, and then boom, you totally, I mean, you're one of the Pi legends now. So I think this is an important piece for the young guys who come out, and the 11-year-olds or the 13-year-olds that come out and they're like, oh man. Do you remember any thoughts in one of those first times you came out with Rebecca? I think Rebecca brought you out, or Jared
Yeah.
might have brought you out. I'm not.
Yeah, Rebecca brought me out because we were playing a middle school game versus EJ Hayes. I was like, it was the summer before my freshman year of high school, so I was technically a middle schooler. So I decided, why not? Let's go out, let's play. Um, I think I did it literally because I had nothing better to do, and I had a couple friends that were on the team, so I was like, all right, let's do it. Came to the game, what did absolutely terrible, did not perform well at all. But I had so much fun. It was unlike any other sport because I've also boxed, fenced, gymnastics, soccer, basketball, diving. So I was like, another weird sport. Let's go for it. And then I
Yeah,
just fell in love. It just kept rolling.
I had forgotten about the Edith J. Hayes game. I was just thinking of the first practice you came out with the other high schoolers that were out there.
That was
Um,
my very first practice. Was the EJ Hayes game.
Well,
So
hey, that's a good formula for success. I think August's first practice was a scrimmage versus Lafayette, and we threw him out there with his khaki pants and his
yep.
hiking boots, and he had fun and couldn't wait to get more. So,
Yep. I remember that.
whatever the case, you guys all know, but some of the other ones that don't know Taco might not know the vintage like Superman layout. And this picture doesn't do it justice, but if I can get it to show
The,
here.
the dolphin dives.
Um, you can explain to me in a second. Can everybody see this picture here?
No, it's just the top of your screen. Maybe that's just
Uh,
me.
Let me see here. Okay, well, that might not work. And that it's basically you laying out with your right hand outstretched and your left hand up in the air. And the way I see it is that lots of times the disc was like 2 inches out of reach, so you would twist your hips and throw your arm to max capacity, and then you would land with a little extra impact maybe on your hip, which really I think messed you up after a while, which I kind of regret. I think you played probably injured the whole last season where we
Yeah, I
went
did.
to high school nationals. Um, so two lessons learned: one, incredible effort, like carries your team really far. Two, proper form will keep you from getting injured, but you might not catch some of those discs. So you got anything to say about those layouts? Because you lay out in a unique way, or you have in the past. I don't know if you've changed anything about that or not.
Yeah, I definitely wish I would have fixed my layout form early because while I did start throwing myself at the ground very early and it was helpful because against sophomores in high school it works. When you're playing a 23-year-old, 6'4", 220-pound guy from Florida, he's just going to run through the disc. I'm not going to be able to get it. So I did alter my form, um, learn how to lay out right. Because I think in high school, I'd like kind of black out for 2 seconds. I don't remember most of my layouts. I'd kind of just go and then either get the disc or get back up. Definitely wish I learned proper form. Uh, about the injury, yes, I did play injured and didn't tell anyone the entire senior year. Um, I felt something 2 weeks before nationals in my hip, then played through nationals, and then halfway through the pig season after that, I had dislocated my hip, torn a muscle in my leg, done a
Oh,
bunch of other things, and it took me, I think, 18 months to recover. So I didn't play my freshman year. I actually redshirted and kept that year of eligibility. Um, so this is my first year technically um, stepping on the field as a Cincinnati player.
yeah. You want to start telling us about that, or did you want to? I mean, I'm just going to turn it over to you. Talk to us.
Yeah, I can. So Cincinnati is a very cool dynamic. We have a roster of about 34 players, I believe. That's our travel roster. Um, it was kind of interesting because we had to pick between doing that or an A and a B team. We decided we're going to have a larger travel roster and only send 10 people that have to stay at home. And for those 10 people, they get the first couple of spots at the low end tournaments. This is something we were planning on doing in the spring, is sending our people that didn't get to go to the A tournaments to these B tournaments, along with the bottom of the A line to make sure everyone's improving, but also making sure that our A line gets to really progress and play top tier teams. Our last tournament in Florida, we actually beat UT Dallas, which beat Carleton and Ohio State. We beat them on Universe. It was a very, very intense game. I'm pretty sure half the people on both teams were in tears. Uh,
Wow.
People were trading jerseys. It was very emotional, but just getting to play at a level where these people are playing against the best players in the world, some USA players, it's kind of surreal. Just taking that next step to D1 Ultimate, it's a very cool experience.
Yeah, exciting, man. I'm just imagining the spirit and the memories down the road with trading the jerseys at the end and having that respect for your opponents. And you were many a time spirit captain for us. And we had a little conversation about spirit and intensity and D1. And I didn't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, D1 is, I would say, much harder to keep good spirit in. Um, so as being spirit captain for Pi a decent amount and really trying to pride myself on keeping good spirit, there's that grit that every competitive athlete wants to let out. And when you're surrounded by 25 dudes on the field with just all the testosterone raging, you wanna yell at some people. So that definitely happens sometimes, and I had to kind of check myself and make sure I reined it in. talked to the other people and made sure we kept it competitive, but we didn't angrily go at the other team. I think this was really important because that's what this game's about. It's about competitive, good-spirited play. Um, like there was one game, our captain fractured his toes. We were playing Central or Southern Florida. They were very chirpy at us. We had a 5'6" guy, chest high layout on one of their 6'4" guys on the goal line, completely contact free. Everyone went crazy. He stepped like almost over our little guy and like called foul. They did that a couple more times. Our captain put his cleats back on with his broken toe and went in. And I had to just rein everyone in on a timeout and be like, guys, we're we're going a little bit insane here. Let's calm down. So I think checking yourself because D1 can be very, very chippy and competitive.
Yeah, it's interesting how that is, and how each game is different, how each team is different, and really each time you play. I mean, you don't always have the exact same people, and everybody's not always in the same place. Some people are getting better with their game and their spirit. Some people are struggling. So, yeah, I think that's an important piece. I had talked to you about how it seems like some players just play because it's fun, it's recreational. Some people play, it's really important to their life and their happiness. And some people play like it's war, like just full
Yeah.
on battle war. And I think it's kind of hard to have good spirit when it's war. I've been there before, and I feel like it hurts a part of my soul and other people's souls when it gets to that point. And I feel like you've always been well aware of that and been such a great presence, at least in our time, um, with Pi.
It's a hard
So,
balance.
yeah.
But
Other highlights from Cincinnati. I'm sure there are plenty. I mean, that must have been really rough, redshirting that whole year and being a sideline supporter,
mm-hmm.
working out, and was at any point temptation to quit?
um, it definitely crossed my mind a couple times. Never a legitimate consideration, but Ultimate was such a big part of my life that when I wasn't able to play for a year and a half, I kind of sat back and realized, okay, this is who I am without Ultimate. And if anything, it helped me grow because it let me see who I was without the sport and then bring the sport back into my life. It was definitely very rough. Our team went to New York. They went to Florida twice. A couple years ago, they went to California. Um, some very, very fun, cool tournaments. We like to travel south. We like to go to cool places and make our tournaments fun. So not getting to participate in those was extremely rough. Um, I didn't travel with the team because of space and the university's regulation on vehicles. Because we're a D1 university, we have to get vehicles and pay through the university, and there's a lot of logistics that this year I'm lucky enough to get to uh, participate in because I'm
Yeah,
one of the 7 people on exec. So it's a lot of
I think that
fun.
struggle last year might have made this just that much sweeter. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm really happy for you.
Hmm.
But I'm sad for this season. I'm happy for next season. Um, but so Coach Joel's been coaching?
Yes, Joel. It was actually very funny. My first year going to Cincinnati last year when I redshirted was his first year starting as a coach. Most people know Joel. He coached Flying Pig. He did some coaching clinics in Kentucky. He's been around. So I thought it was really cool that the coach that joined the same year I did, I knew personally because I'd played for him twice already. So that was very cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Coach Joel, how about talking about Flying Pig a little bit? I know there are some kids out there that are hopeful that we may be able to still have a YCCs this year. The U20 bid, there's like a 75% chance we're going to get it in the second phase. The U17 bid we got, but we're
Mhm.
just not sure if it's going to happen or not. Can you kind of give people a little, some of your memories of what YCC meant to you? Granted,
Yeah, absolutely. YCC was some of the most fun I'd had. I love tournaments in general, um, but the 14-hour bus ride halfway across the country to go play at YCCs when I played for Pig, it was one of the most fun times. We'd lay down in the aisles, we'd play random card games, then we'd wake up super early, walk out on a field because the Open happened at the same time with all these huge names, and then we'd go play our games versus some of the best in some other states, and it was just a very, very cool experience. And then you had the practices where it was still some of the best from local teams. These are people that I might have had a chippy call against in the past. I might have guarded a whole game or 10 whole games. So I think that was one of the coolest things about YCC was playing with people that you used to play against, and also just the elite level of play. It's something that I think really pushed me and a couple of the other people that did Pi and Flying Pig with me. I think it really pushed us to perform a lot better.
Yeah, exciting times. One of my beliefs that my faith beliefs in love of enemy, I feel like if we could do that a little bit on the ultimate field, then when we become teammates with the people we played against, then there's a sense of kinship. It's
Mm.
really hard when if there's a chippy situation, you're like, well, I hate that person, I never want to see him again, and then you both make the same select team. Well, what now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I'd thought in advance, I would have gotten Axel or somebody from the old squad on here to grill you about some of your memories or moments at YCCs. But we'll have questions in a little bit.
Mhm.
So what about some Pi memories? I mean, 2018 was I mean, most teams will never have a year like that. And I wanted to screenshot this the goal. I think most of
Mhm.
you have seen. I'll try the share screen one more time. May or may not work. Um, but you can't see this, can you?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, you can see it.
Mhm.
To prove to Ultiworld and all others that doubt us that we are a national caliber team by making nationals and getting top 8.
Top 8.
Taco. And in my comments over here, if I can see them. So we began the season playing with high hopes. We had a strong top 5 players last fall, but we were plagued with injuries, yada, yada, yada. I say something to the effect of, I thought this was maybe a brash, bold statement by player Taco. No, in my mind, naive and brash goal. I mean, as a coach, planning to take his team to River Campus Classic, Rivertown Throwdown, India Invite, and Equal Knockout, all of which we had never won before, right? At that point.
Mhm.
Well, maybe River Campus Classic we'd won. Um, some of the premier, no, we didn't. And some of the premier tournaments in the country, how do you look at 9 high school boys and 9 high school girls at practice and justify the time, energy, and money, yada, yada. But if you didn't have that goal, we might not have been there, because I'm a firm believer that you gotta believe it, you gotta see it, you have to imagine it to be able to even have a chance at climbing the mountain. If you look at the mountain, you say the mountain's too big, there's no way, then there's no way. But if somebody in your crew says, that mountain's nothing, let's go, I got you, then you're probably at the top of the mountain with your crew.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember that all too well. We were sitting, I think, in the library is one of the times we did it, and then we also did it once in the Montgomery's basement. I remember we did the goals. We split up into the mind, spirit, body communities that you had us do, um, and I put that goal out there because I thought, okay, look at us performing, doing really well against adults, doing really well against all these teams. Top 8 at nationals, it's nothing. I knew we could do it, and so that's when I just wanted us to start rolling. Indie Invite is definitely one of the biggest memories from that year that stands out. When we were playing Center Grove, which was just seniors that were all tall, built. They were a very good team.
we had never beaten Center Grove. I think they had 3 lines, something like 20, 27 guys or something like that, or 25 guys, or
No one had beat Center Grove yet that year at
I
all.
believe you're right.
They were an undefeated team, and when a couple of the Mason guys like Axel from Pig, and the field was just surrounded, and it
People were
was
rooting
universe
for us.
point, 10-10. We had just come back 9-10. Beating them was absolutely insane. Then going on to beat Nico in the finals, and then winning the Spirit. That tournament really sealed it for me because we won Spirit and won the tournament. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams that win the tournament and are like last place in the Spirit scores.
Mm-hmm.
But to win a game and to win Spirit, I think that was one of the first times it clicked in my mind that those two goals are the same thing, you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of people see it as two different things. And some teams think, well, forget Spirit. We just want to win the tournament.
Yeah.
But if you win the tournament and you don't feel great about yourself, you know, you can get third or fourth place and if you feel great about your crew, you know, where's the win? You won first place and you don't feel good about how some of the interactions, or you got third or fourth place and you feel great about everything you did. But to be able to win and feel great about everything you did, that's rare, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish more teams would get that. I think more teams can get that, and that would just elevate the whole game.
I agree.
Yeah, are there some other things you want to throw out before we open it up? If you guys are out there, you can start unmuting yourselves and maybe showing yourselves. Let Taco see your beautiful face. And man, Nacho, if you're there, I mean, from pictures, you look huge. If there's any way you could show yourself or sit next to your brother or something like that. I still see you the way I see Levi when he first came out at the age of 12, just like a tiny little boy. And now Levi is, you know, if I was being attacked, I would hide behind Levi and
Yeah, I guess I can share a little bit. While
He's not here. He went to be with Dad.
okay, it's
I'm
it's my mom.
McEachern.
My mom is Justin
Hey,
McEachern.
Kathy.
She's watching from
Hi.
downstairs.
I don't have a thing downstairs.
Okay, well, I guess Justin will not be making an appearance.
But he is huge.
We'll catch Justin another time.
Yeah, I guess a little bit more on Cincinnati as a whole is I think community is everything for Ultimate. My house is 11 people and 8 of us play Ultimate.
Wow.
Right next door, there's 2 people. There's also 2 more people buying a house directly next to us. And then there's another house of 5 across campus. So we all pretty much live together. Everyone lives together with someone close. We all get together on the weekends. That's who we hang out with at night after practice. We're a very niche team. I think doing that is really what brings us together, and that's what keeps us accountable. Because when you live with someone and they're like, I'm going to run stairs, you want to go run the stadium? You can't really say no because there's 7 guys doing it. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Man, I wanna start like a great grandmaster ultimate house and have
It's a fun experience.
Well, hey, what questions do we have out there? I think Levi or Jared might have had a question. I'm not sure, or a memory, or
Brother.
What's up?
Levi.
I'll go first. So my question would be, I'm going into my freshman year this fall. All things go well, but what if so? You just did your freshman year, or sophomore year?
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year, yeah. So what would you say, looking back on freshman year, what would you say if you could do one thing different, or what is one thing that you would do differently, or that I should do or worry about?
You talking just college as a whole?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
I would say find your people and stick to them. I think people overhype college is this super happy place where you're going to find friends everywhere. I didn't find a friend in class. I have one guy from freshman year that I talked to outside of organizations that I joined. At first, I think it was an 8 clubs. I had to drop those because I was overinvested, but it really helped me find my spot. I joined a religious organization. I joined, obviously, the ultimate team. I joined a Greek life organization that I already knew some of the guys from. And then I joined an honor society. I think that really helped me because it kept me busy. It helped me grow professionally and socially. And it just really gave me a good like safety net, because I feel like that's what you lose when you go to college is a good safety net of people. So find your people, find your groups, and then you'll do good.
Oh, I'm so inspired. Thank you.
Thanks, Levi. Jared, you got a question?
Yeah, Taco, how does it feel to know that your little brother has evolved into a full quesarito?
Oh,
Chunky, dude,
it's a
he's
little
huge.
upsetting. Honestly, it's a little upsetting. When I came home and he was his voice had changed. He was not super short. He was like only a little bit shorter than me. It was a little upsetting because I'm supposed to be the big one. I'm supposed to be the tall guy. So if he gets taller than me, I don't know what I'll do. Full quesarito. That's crazy.
Yeah, Levi's taller than me and has been for about a year now, and it was quite upsetting when I came home the first time. So I was wondering if you had that similar experience, but you're still taller than him, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm
You
still
got
taller
some.
than
You
him.
got some time.
He's only
Yeah.
14. I'm only 21. So it's crazy.
Most of you guys are aware that the Eric symbol on our sleeve came from, I think, Nate and Taco's leadership. I don't, you guys just decided, I don't know how you guys decided. You were like, this is going to be on our sleeve. You know, recently we lost Robin, and what a beautiful life and what a blessing she was to us. But I think we felt really strongly about this Ultimate Frisbee organization that was tied in with early recognition of cancer. And, you know, that really, I think this really means a lot. I mean, the whole jersey, I mean, the Kentucky, and then all the sublimated math, which always kind of stressed me out. But Taco, you found the artist as your friend Eitan, and
Mhm.
you know, I think I've only had two players that had the organization and the maturity to get sweet jerseys made, and the other one was Matt Brown, way back like in 2006 or something like that. A little Matt Brown is like a sophomore or junior, I think senior year, he did like an art contest for the Flying Knight.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to comment. I just wanted to recognize that, because having the care to create something that everyone's proud of. I mean, we spoke about this recently, I think, on another episode, how these jerseys, I mean, people will trade multiple jerseys to get one of these jerseys. And this jersey is associated with a high level of play and great spirit. And for the younger players, I think they understand that. And if they don't understand that, they're taught that soon after they start. So I don't know if your teammates recognized you as much for the work you did. I mean, we must have had close to 80 emails and, you know, coordinating, going back and forth your senior year. And that really impressed me with your maturity beyond leading with the workouts in the body committee, beyond being spirit captain and being an incredible defensive specialist on top of an explosive offensive game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have anything to say about that. And then you went on, Joel plays you on the O-line. You want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I guess I'll comment on all that. The jersey, that's something that I think if you're a younger player, or if you're watching this and you're a younger player, do it. I just jumped in. He wasn't even my friend, but I texted him and then we became friends. He was someone I knew through someone who I had never met on a dynasty team that I said I would play for. So it was super random. I just texted him out of the blue. He was a really good graphic designer, hit him up, and then we emailed a ton, and it just worked out. So that's something you should do. About the defense and offense, it was weird. I don't think I was always pie. I was always D-line on pie. That's pretty much it. And then Pig, I was always the first year I was a little bit between O and D, and then I was O. Now that I'm in college, Joel plays me as an O-line. I'm now one of the 7 starting O-line players. I do a little bit between cutting and handling. And so if you would have told me that senior year of high school as a D-line cutter, that I would be an O-line handle cut hybrid, I would not believe you at all. So I think make sure that you're well balanced, because a well balanced player is the best player on the field if you're good at everything. Yeah, I wish I had practiced a little bit more on my handler movement, cuts, and everything like that, because I had to really put in a lot of outside work to make sure that fit this year.
Any other questions out there? Can I randomly call on anyone? One of the Montgomerys, maybe? Caleb, Mason,
I have a
Jake,
question.
Lula?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Did you feel there was a learning curve coming back into Ultimate? Did you feel like you lost some skills or anything coming back from being on an injury for a year and a half?
Yeah, not as much as I expected though, which I was thankful for. There was definitely a curve. My throws had gotten rusty because I could throw, but at some points I couldn't fast walk, so I wasn't really able to go toss more than 10 yards. So my throws lacked. My knowledge I thought was fine, but thinking about it and watching and thinking about it while trying to run the cuts, another thing. So that I had to get back in the practice of. But it all kind of came back to the point that I was at, I'd say fairly quickly within a month or two. And then I was able to perform. But it definitely took 2 months or so to get back to where I was.
Good question. Anyone else? We got 4 minutes.
I got a question.
What's
Hi,
up?
Taku. How would you compare Cincinnati to Lexington in like ultimate sense and also just like as a city?
Okay, yeah. As a city, it is much, much different. It's crazy what the river does between us. Lexington is got this southern hospitality, horse country is what we're known for, all of that. Then you go to Cincinnati, and my freshman year, it was very, everyone's more bustling around like a big city. People are nice, but you have to get to know them. They're not nice off the bat. They're not mean, but it's just a very different type of place. It's very cool. Ultimate wise, Cincinnati is a very ride or die city. That was very hard for me. Coming from Pi, where it's like sometimes I forgot which team I play for. I thought I know all these people and I'd love to play with all of them. And I'm Pi, but I also love playing with these guys and these adults. And Cincinnati, it's very ride or die. When we go to tournaments, players know that we are Cincinnati through and through, and we can be kind of aggressive at times. That's kind of what I was talking about, how we have to tone that down. Yeah, Cincinnati, I would say, is a bit more aggressive than Kentucky Ultimate, but once you get into it, it becomes a family. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I described that well.
Great question. You got any final thoughts? We're down to about 2 minutes here.
I have one question, if you can answer it quick.
Yeah, what's up?
What is the most interesting ultimate specific thing that you have learned how to completely do different or totally learned new? Like, what's something that you totally were unexposed to in high school that you've figured out or started doing?
Yeah, in high school, I feel like we were a running gun team. We were very get the disc moving, get the disc going fast. And so I tried to do that in college, and it didn't work because in Cincinnati, we are a very meticulous shooter team. We like to hold the disc. We have our resets planned out to a T, where each person is going to go. And then we like to shoot it or shoot it in the middle. And it's not run and gun at all. So I think transitioning to that slower style of play was very aggravating at first, but it got
Getting
easier.
cut off, but love you,
Yeah.
Taco. Thanks so much for coming on. Thank you, guys. Lula's on Sunday, 7 o'clock, or maybe 7:30. I'll have to double check. I'll let you know.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.